Welcome back, everyone. Let's just jump right into it. Today, we're taking a really close look at the 2026 Comprehensive Roadmap for Disability Benefits. And as we go through this material together, we're going to consistently use the dignified phrase "pratibandhi vyakti" to refer to persons with disabilities. It's a beautiful, respectful term, and it really centers the humanity, resilience, and dignity of the folks actually walking this path. Whether you're navigating this complex system for yourself or maybe helping out a loved one, understanding the rules for 2026 is absolutely crucial to finding real peace of mind.
Okay, let's dive right into this outline. We're going to hit the differences between SSDI and SSI, run through the brand new 2026 updates, look at application steps and wait times, touch on housing and work opportunities, explore ABLE accounts and savings, and finally wrap up with some proposed political changes.
So, Section 1, SSD versus SSI, differences, and understanding the foundations. Think of Social Security Disability Insurance, or SSDI. That's the one on the left, kind of like an earned insurance policy. You've literally paid into this with every single paycheck through your FICA taxes. Generally, you need about 40 work credits to qualify, and here's a massive detail. Once your payments begin, there is a mandatory 24-month waiting period before your Medicare coverage kicks in, right? Now, look over at the right side, Supplemental Security Income, or SSI. This one is totally different. It's a needs-based safety net. It doesn't care about your work history. It's looking at strict financial need. We're talking absolute asset limits of $2,000 for an individual, just $2,000. But the silver lining here is that unlike SSDI, an SSI approval usually gets you immediate access to Medicaid. Figuring out which of these specific frameworks applies to a
pratibandhi vyakti
is basically step one in this whole puzzle.
Moving right along to Section 2, New 2026 Updates, the new numbers.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide right here from the official Social Security Administration is that it confirms the new cost of living adjustment, or COLA, for 2026. It's 2.8%. Now, I know 2.8% might sound like a drop in the bucket on paper, but trust me, this directly alters the monthly spending power and the daily lives of millions of people who rely on these funds just to survive.
Let's break down exactly what that 2.8% increase actually means for your household budget. So the average monthly SSDI benefit, that sits at $1,630. For SSI, the federal maximum payment is $994 a month. And then there's this absolutely crucial third number, the SGA, or Substantial Gainful Activity Limit. For a non-blind pratibandhi vyakti, this limit is $1,690 a month. That is literally the absolute maximum you can earn from working before the SSA turns around and decides you're no longer disabled under their rules. These aren't just abstract stats, you know? These are the real, rigid boundaries people have to live within to pay rent and manage their care.
All right, Section 3, Application Steps and Wait Times, Navigating the Process.
Okay, if you've ever applied and gotten a rejection letter, I really want you to hear this. Look at this staggering statistic. 67% of all initial applications are denied. 2/3. I'm pointing this out because I want to validate how incredibly frustrating this process is. A denial does not mean a principiu zanap doesn't qualify. Honestly, it usually just means the application lacked the precise medical documentation or vocational phrasing the SSA examiners are looking for. It's a hurdle, for sure, but it's not a closed door.
Let's move to the timeline and see how this builds step by step. Step 1, the initial application. That's going to take 6 to 8 months. If you get denied, you move to Step 2, reconsideration. That adds another 3 to 6 months of waiting. And full transparency, a lot of people get denied here too. But do not give up. Step 3 is the hearing before an administrative law judge, which takes another 8 to 10 months. Here's the vital takeaway though. The hearing stage holds a much higher 59% approval rate. Why? Because it's your first real chance to have legal representation explain your actual, unique situation directly to a judge.
Which brings us to Section 4, Housing and Work Opportunities, Living and Earning. Remember that $994 maximum SSI check we just talked about? Yeah, trying to pay market rent on that is basically impossible. That's why housing programs are literal lifelines. Section 8 Housing Choice Vouchers actually cap your rent at 30% of your adjusted income, and Section 811 provides supportive housing specifically built for disabled adults. Now, what about working? Well, the system actually has some pretty brilliant incentives built in. The 9-month trial work period lets you test the waters. You can earn as much as you want without losing a single cent of your SSDI. And after that, you get a 36-month extended period of eligibility. So if your health fluctuates, you can basically move in and out of benefit status depending on your earnings without having to reapply from scratch.
Okay, let's look at Section 5, ABLE accounts and savings, protecting your future.
I want you to focus on this massive, totally life-altering number on the screen. 46. Starting January 1st, 2026, the Able Age Adjustment Act officially changes the game. Before this, to open a tax-free Able Savings account, your disability had to have started before you turned 26. But now, that threshold shoots all the way up to age 46. This single legislative change means millions more people, including so many veterans, can save up to $100,000 tax-free. And the best part, it doesn't count against that tiny $2,000 SSI asset limit. It is a profound step toward financial dignity and independence.
Let's wrap things up with Section 6, New Laws and Proposed Changes, the Political Landscape. So, let's just impartially look at what's currently being debated. On the left side, we have the proposed SSI Restoration Act. This one aims to modernize the system by bumping up that strict $2,000 individual asset limit all the way to $10,000, and it wants to scrap the marriage penalty. Conversely, on the right side, we have a proposed Trump administration rule. This rule proposes actually deducting the financial value of a bedroom from the SSI checks of disabled adults if they live at home with families who receive SNAP benefits. So, you can see the stark contrast here. One proposal aims to expand financial limits, while the other looks to tighten federal spending by penalizing shared living arrangements.
And this brilliantly illustrates the real-world stakes of those political proposals. Looking back at the SSA's estimated average benefits for 2026, that's $1,630 average SSDI check. Well, if the SSI Restoration Act passes, that worker could finally start building a real savings account. But if that proposed SNAP rule takes effect, an SSI recipient living with their parents could see their already meager $994 benefit slashed by up to a third, just for having a bedroom in a low-income household. These aren't just debates in Washington, they translate directly to the dinner tables of these families.
Which brings us to our final, and really the most critical question. How will these shifting policies shape the future for Protibandhi Vyakti in America? Whether it's budgeting around the new 2026 adjustments, pushing through those massive wait times, finally opening an ABLE account, or weathering these political changes, having a clear roadmap is absolutely your best defense. Stay informed, stay vigilant out there, and use this knowledge to empower yourself and advocate for the dignity every person deserves. Thanks for joining me today, and take care.